Hey, what's going on, guys? 118 Seth Shadow here. So, this past weekend we had our first regional of the BCS 2023 circuit out in Toronto, Canada. And the results have come in for standard. The winner of the overall tournament was a Gondiva player. And there were two Gondivas overall in the top four as well. Ultimately, we did talk about how it was going down in price overall, and it's still holding just under $15 for a good amount of its listings for the triple rare. Still has 29 listings available. And then you have the FFR available, 11 listings starting at 90, so that hasn't changed from what we last talked about. I did get to take a look at the deck list for the top decks and notice that they are playing Meteor Flare in there as one or two ofs, if I remember correctly. But this card has gone back up since we last talked about it. It was starting to trickle downward, but it's working its way back up into the $20 range. This is, again, a set 7 card, so that could play into it. Also, that it is a pretty nice tech to consider for Gondiva when it comes to certain matchups. But in any case, it's $22 base and has been selling for $22, $23 recently. In terms of available listings, 22, 23. Once you get to 24, that's when you start to see more copies that you can pick up at once. Then the runner-up for the tournament was Zorga Masks, which is still pretty cheap to pick up, at least for Masks himself. You take a look at the triple rare of this one, it's still $1 to pick up, and there are lots of listings available. It helps that it's from set 10, just like Gondiva is, so that might be promoting how cheap they become. But the FFR is, $40 base, 12 listings, and if you want the secret rare, 5 listings overall starting at $286 and change. Then a surprise from the top 4 was an MLB, a Majesty Lord Blaster deck as well, which I've seen Majesty Lord Blaster take a top here and there from the prior BCS as well. But yeah, it's a surprise to see it up there again, especially in the ever-changing current meta that we've got right now. But right now, if you want to pick it up, $1 seems to be the low end. Let me check that out. That's with a shipping tag of $3, but then $4 basically when you look at the base listing. So not too bad of a pickup, and it's just a matter of what the other support is worth. But there is an SP version of it, which starts at 23-ish, and then you've got the 10th SP, which is still not too bad. It's $40 at this point and only has 4 listings. I mean, when you consider how the 10th SP is pretty rare to pull in a pack, 40 is not bad, 30 is pretty good in my opinion. Then, taking a look at some other cards, I want to cover Shadow Army SP tokens that come out of set 4. Now that we're getting the new special deck set, as well as Orphis Mask coming in set 12, it's critical that you pay attention to these, especially given that Orphis is likely to be one of the popular decks for Brandgate going forward. At least if you take a look at the meta in Japan right now. But right now, this card only has 5 listings available, all from $40 to $50 respectively, and we're looking at sales as high as $50 from the last several months. But in the last month, the only ones that sold were both under $45. Even so, if you want to pick up SP Shadow Army tokens, they're likely to go pretty soon, in the next few weeks, if not the next few days, I'd think. Then you've also got Roaming Prison Dragon. When it comes to Zorga, and also just in general, this card is still a pretty good contender, but it has fallen off quite a bit for its triple rare. This has been a $20 plus card for at least a little while, but it's dropped off to the point where it's now $13 to $15 instead. And if you want to pick up the SP, on the other hand, there was an opportunity. You were able to pick these up as low as $20 at one point, which I did, but something happened with the order, so I didn't get as many as I was hoping for. In any case, yeah, there are no longer any more $20 listings, and it's sold as high as $32 so far, but the lowest listing is now $49. If no one buys into it, I could see it go back down again, but Zorga Masks will likely keep this value up somewhat if it continues to be a force, and it's still pretty strong. Then you've also got Inlet Pulse Dragon, which has been seeing a resurgence in the number of sales that it's been seeing. The original from set 4 only has 2 listings available as low as $30 right now, and the reprint that comes out of set 9 has 7 listings as low as $23. Note that the SP has one listing that's $33 right now, and then it becomes $40 plus after that, but there are only 4 listings available and each one only has 1 copy. So if we also take a look, in the last month, they sold as play sets for 41s, and players did pick them up at 50s for the past 2 months. Not that many, but if you're looking for Inlet Pulse, do keep in mind that it is moving quite readily now. Performing Pedal Diantha, this is another one that we haven't covered in a while, but it has been up in value for some time now. $25.95 is the base listing on this one, and it's more like it was a resurgence, to be fair. If you take a look at this V shape, it's just from July to August, it stayed in the $16, $17 range, and then it suddenly shot up to have a market price above $20. And the prices kind of reflect that. Over the last month, it's been selling for $20 to $25 and only continues to go up. There's no reprint on the horizon for this card right now, at least not for us, so it's no surprise that this is happening. As for the FFR, this one is up in value, but in terms of listings that are available right now, it's $54, and last listings that sold were sporadic, mostly in the $80 and $70 range. Now that it's in the 50s, it'll be interesting to see where exactly it goes from here. Next one I want to talk about is Leonore. Now that we're getting closer to set 13, it'll be important to keep this card in mind, as this card is likely going to be getting a retrain with set 13. But right now, the variations that come out of set 6, the base triple rare is $4 to start, the FFR is $34-ish, and then you've got the DSR, which is holding around $170, and the market price is just above that right now. Then you've got Youthberg Skyfall Arms, which thanks to the deluxe set that came out, we now have 2 full art versions that you can pick up, the FFR and that deluxe promo. And right now, when you take a look at the triple R as well, it's currently sitting around $17, while the full art versions are pretty close in price. The deluxe version is currently higher at $83.50-ish, while the FFR is currently $73.50. And if you want to pick up the DSR, it's $280 base right now. So Skyfall Arms has pretty much held between $15 and $25 for the most part, and it's hit $30 quite a few times. Depending on what Youthberg ends up getting, because I have a pretty good feeling that Skyfall Arms is still going to be pretty crucial to the deck. And then you've got Nirvana Jiva, which the concept is that we're supposed to be getting a new Virina, but given that it's likely going to be a crossover dress, it's likely that Jiva is something that you'll want to keep your eye on as well. And this one also comes as a full art in the deluxe set. Although I will say that with the surprises that we've seen so far from the anime, it wouldn't surprise me too much if the new Virina did somehow become a Vanguard base card, but to be fair, I don't think the chance of that is that high, given that if that were to happen, it would break the trend of Nirvana continuing to be a Vanguard card. But in any case, Nirvana Jiva's triple rare has 9 listings at $19 to start off with, and then you've got the deluxe version full art at 28. The FFR is still around 40, market price is still in the 50s, so it's dropped off. And then you've got the DSR, which is 129 base with a market price of 117. And just to wrap it all up, I do want to call out that one of the critical triggers from Set 6, Blaze Warmonk Sogu, is rising in price. This one was pretty readily available in the 20 to 30 cent range for a while, but I guess I just haven't been looking so much, given that I've covered how common triggers just hold value a lot and keep going up, but when it came to Set 6 ones, I just didn't pay as much attention to them except for Star Aggression. And now this card became a 50 cent to 75 cent card to $1 while I wasn't looking. I mean, there have been movements in the case of the common triggers for Set 6, but for Dragon Empire, it's consistently been pretty cheap. And all of a sudden, it just got up there. Probably due to Gandiva. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's because of Gandiva. But just be sure, remember, when it comes to critical triggers especially, they hold value. They always hold value, and it doesn't seem to matter how many different prints we get, how many different types we get. They always seem to hold a good amount of value just for being commons. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.